This is Character Asked It. You already know Character did it. I'm here with Marc Mills, bro. Tell us about yourself. What do you do?
It's Marc Mills, man. I'm an independent artist. I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia. I'm repping the 757. I'm a conscious artist or whatever. So I got some projects that I'm working on. I just dropped elevated music. Just trying to maintain, man. Just continue to elevate, bro.
That's what's up, bro. What do you mean by conscious artist?
Conscious, like just being aware, like being mentally and intellectually aware of self. Um, Knowledge of self empowers you, uh, and then it gets you closer to God. Like when you start to acknowledge God in your life, and you start to hold yourself accountable, then you become a better version of yourself.
Hell yeah, bro. How
So
old are
being
you?
conscious in that manner, you know what I'm saying?
How
Yes,
old are
sir.
you?
I'm 37.
All
Yeah,
right. All right.
I
So
feel, I feel, I feel like I'm 23 though.
I feel you, bro. I'm 35, man. I feel you.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Are you
Yeah.
still in Richmond?
I'm located in the 757. So the
All right.
757 is like a home away from home right now.
Okay. Okay.
So and pretty much I moved up here and then I pretty much established myself up here with my businesses and whatnot like that. But I was born in Richmond originally, and I was raised in Southern Virginia, but 804 and 757. I rep the 804 and 757 for real, for real.
Hell yeah. Tell me about growing up.
Um, Growing up, man, I'm from the, what I'm saying, I was born in Richmond, uh, and then I was raised in like Southern Virginia. So Southern Virginia, I come from a small town called Nottoway. It's not a way you're gonna find it. Honestly, like it's small. It's like Blackstone, Crew, and Burkeville consist of Nottoway County. And out there we have the simplified living. Everybody is everybody's pretty much earnest. They're transparent. They doing the others. They doing themselves. And I'm just grateful of that experience to be able to grow into the man that I am, and to be raised by my mother out there, and for my grandmother and my grandfather be a prevalent part of my life. So that's where I came from, man. And big up Nottoway. Shout out 434 for sure.
All right. What'd you do after high school?
At the high school, I pretty much honestly like I'll tell you this. So we're gonna peel it back a little bit. Um, my mom, she had me when she was 18. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And she passed away when she was 45. So that was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? Like growing up, my dad really wasn't there. He was there, he was
Damn.
present, but he wasn't present, if you feel what I'm saying. Like, you know what I'm saying? And generational curses, it really isn't a curse once you understand who you are, what God is doing in your life, because you can continue to evolve. However, everybody has trauma, and how we heal from our traumas, we become a stronger version of ourselves. So it really is a gift. The trauma is a gift if you can actually accept it. So after high school, I just pretty much got into work because um, I seen my mom work so hard, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And like, for her to pass away at 45, for me to like look back at it now, like now I finally realize why it meant so much to me. But I worked two jobs. I was going to school. I was going to VCU for mass communications, and like with college, like that's that rigmarole socially. Like everybody expects you to like, oh well, I'm gonna do what everybody else do. Like honestly, I was a salmon. You know what I'm saying? I was a salmon. But the whole time I was swimming with the school of fish the whole entire time because I felt like I was programmed to run with them. But honestly, I need to accept myself as an individual. So I went to school and I was like, this shit ain't for me, yo.
Yep.
Like, and then like let's fast forward to I'm 37 and I'm like I'm literally at peace and I'm content. I'm married. I'm happily married, and I have a business that's lucrative, and not to mention that like I'm actually setting a precedent for others, and I'm just where I'm at right now is my niche. And if it wasn't for my traumas, I wouldn't even be in my niche. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I went to college for a little bit, and it just wasn't for me because I'm an artist. You know what I'm saying? But I went to college because I felt like I was socially, how can I say it? I was socially obligated to fulfill that, to be able to validate myself for how other people viewed me instead of me
Absolutely.
understanding who I was. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did after I got out of school, high school.
Absolutely, bro. And first of all, I'm so sorry to hear about your mom. Mad respect to your mindset. You're right.
Yeah,
Trauma
I
grows us.
appreciate it, though.
It's not fun to grow through those things, but it's
Mhm.
trauma is what makes us who we are, what makes us stronger.
Right, most definitely, yeah.
The When did you start making music?
Shit, oh my god, hold on, I gotta drink that. I started create. I'll tell you this. I gotta think about that question. Music has always been a prevalent part of my life, and it's ironic because like the relationship with me and my father, we don't really have a consistent relationship. But like I said, once I started to understand who the enemy was, I started to be able to forgive him of his inconsistency, so I could be able to change that generational curse. But music, that was the greatest gift that my father gave me, and it started when I was 3 years old, probably like before that, like ever since I was born. He had a 5.0, he had an MTX Terminators, 12-inch subs, hatchback 5.0. He had the fucking tape deck, you know what I'm saying? He had the
Hell
tape
yeah.
deck joint. And like you remember like back in the day when you used to get the tapes or the CDs, and you used to put that shit like in a case and you used to zip that bitch up.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
bro. Oh
But
yeah.
like he had all of that, so that was a huge part of my life because it influenced me because I was hearing it and I was receiving. I was a sponge, and I used to run around at 3 years old rapping, saying I can rap to the rap to the rap, MC rap, MC. I'm MC rap. I'm three. I don't even know what the fuck who the fuck MC rap is. And then my aunt, she was like, she was a bartender. She was a bartender at Fevers in Farmville. She was like, put him in the talent show. So she puts me into the talent show or whatever. And then I just, like seriously, I always had rap in me. I always had music in me. But when I started taking it seriously, I would say that was after my mother passed because I always had the talent, but I had to eat my ego to deal with. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, oh, I'm influenced by all these artists and shit. Like, and I love music, but I didn't really understand how music is therapeutic and how it really helps you heal if you are honest with yourself. If you hold yourself accountable and like say for instance like with the universe, if you speak into the universe and you affirm things and you let God know, because I say God is omnipresent. He's omnipotent. He's everywhere at every time. He's omnipresent. He's everything. We are from God. So if I speak my truth and my truth is the light, then I can be able to heal from that because I'm holding myself accountable.
Mm.
So it's like when you start to use that music as a tool to heal, that's when you actually make a difference because there's other people on the same wavelength and the law of attraction is in full effect. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I started to make when that's when I started to take music seriously when my mom passed, unfortunately. Because beforehand I was a boy, and honestly what I wanted to do was I wanted to be this shit. I'm this shit. I can rap like da 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 da, like that ego. I had to have an ego death. My mom passing, that was an ego death for me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was almost like I have to, instead of me living for myself, I have to allow her to live vicariously through me.
Mm.
You
Mm.
know what I'm saying?
No, that's beautiful, bro. And it's weird hearing you say that because I swear I've had that exact same conversation, saying exactly what you just said. Like, I am
Right.
totally, I totally agree with everything, your whole mindset and the way you're looking at it, especially
Right.
music being therapy. I started music about a year and a half ago, and I was dealing with some of my own trauma from my
Mhm.
ex and everything. And I can 100% confidently say I would not be nearly as far healed as I am had I not found music. Because
Yeah.
when I was making the music, I would be letting out anger from before, but then also figuring things out about myself, how I feel about
Right.
things, and
Yeah.
it wasn't always expressing myself. It was figuring myself out a lot of times.
Right. Right. Most definitely. Yeah. Because like it's like this, like it's like this kind of like I said, like light, light is the light. The truth is the light, right? But darkness is what tests you for you to understand how powerful light is. Because light is what's going to provide the transparency. So as long as you have truth in the darkness, then you're going to have light. You're going to be the light if you stay true to yourself, knowledge itself. So it's like throughout your experiences of you going through this tumultuous relationship, right? I was with my ex before I found my wife. If I wasn't with my ex, right? If I wasn't with my ex, I would. If I didn't realize what I needed to do for me to become a better version of myself, I would have never found my wife. But however, that whole entire experience led me to find the most beautiful person in my life for me to continue to live in abundance and prosperity to the point where I have no word. I don't have words because I know who my God is. I know how the universe is a friendly and loving place. But what the media wants you to do, and what society wants you to do, they want you to dawn on lack. They want you to dawn on how, oh shit, all this shit is happening, and what are we gonna do? We're gonna no, I don't deal in that. You know what I'm saying? I deal in abundance and prosperity, and I continue to act in that, and I just want to continue to be a model citizen of the universe and set that precedent, man.
That's amazing,
And
bro.
yeah, man, like people that lift weights. You know what I'm saying? Like I go work out. I was lifting weights. I'll tell you this. This is funny. So I'll break this down to you. Lifting weights, and I want to do something positive, but I wasn't an expert. I went out there, I lift weights. I got a lot of bulk because I was lifting weights, doing low repetitions. So I blew the fuck up. I was like swole, but I wasn't mobile, and my knees was hurting like shit because I put all this weight on. But then I started to realize, I was like, damn, I have to learn what's good for me. Then I went back in there and I started doing hits, and I started using my own body weight. I started getting my heart rate up. And then when I started to do that, that's when I felt healthier. It's like all of that, all of these different like experiences that you go through, like it pretty much it fine tunes you towards you hitting that target. You know what I'm saying? So you don't think about the situation, you think about where you're going. You know what I'm saying? And what you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You don't need to know when or how. You just need to know what.
Right. Exactly. And you have to trust. Like, okay, so we had a long conversation last night where I had some guys, and like the cats that I rock with, like right now, like I'm literally in Apex Studios. We're in Virginia Beach, and like 757 is different from the 804. Big up 804. I love 804. That's my home. That's where I was born. But it's like when I was doing music in my 20s, it was like people were crabs in the pot. Like people were hating and shit. Like instead of you, like, okay, if I see that you're prosperous, hey, this man has an aura around him. I want to know what is it that you do so I can be able to be a vessel of blessings to others. But see, what people don't understand and realize is that the trauma that the trauma that you experience, if you let that shit consume you, you will be just as worse as what you went through. You know what I'm saying? So when you start to understand that life is a testament and God doesn't really open his mouth and say blah blah blah, but he puts you through these things to teach you, the lesson is the blessing, then you start to be able to not hate so much. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm not gonna hate on anybody because I'm not worried about the next man. Honestly, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. There is no competition. And I say that, and I don't say it in an overzealous way.
No.
I say that because I refuse to compete because I'm already in competition with myself.
Absolutely, bro. And there's enough out here for everybody anyway.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but with that, exactly. But see, what people fail to realize is you distract yourself trying to compete with other people when God has already been testing you for you to be the best version of yourself. That's what people fuck up at. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like doing this dance to be validated. I'm not trying to be validated. I'm just making what I make, and I'm making my mark and leaving my legacy behind. And just as true as these words that I spill out my mouth right now, maybe that might help somebody else in some other time zone later on or whatever it does. I just know that it's truth. That's all I know.
Hell yeah, man.
You know
Hell
what
yeah,
I'm
bro. I beautifully said. Everything you just said was beautifully said.
saying?
Tell me about your
What's
biggest
up?
accomplishments.
My biggest accomplishments, man. I'll tell you this. My biggest accomplishments, honestly, was me starting my getting married to a beautiful woman. First of all, I say that and they're like, "Oh, this nigga, he cheesy as shit for saying this shit." But And I'm
Yeah.
not cheesy. I'm not cheat. Like, you know how it's like, you know how, oh man, yo, he talking about me. No, I say this with such conviction because I actually have a wonderful wife. Shout out to Ruthie Miller, Miss Mills. But like, I'm just overjoyed to even be able to align with somebody to continue to evolve both of our unions. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's the biggest accomplishment, to be able to like realize that it's not about you, it's bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? That's one. But and then you know, my other biggest accomplishment would be starting my dispatch service and my dispatch business, and you know, taking my craft, taking my business, and actually like being successful with it, and continue to be consistent, and being able to provide for my family, and being a source of strength for my nephew and my nieces. You know what I'm saying? I don't have kids, you know what I'm saying? You know, but we're still working on that. And if it's in God's plan, it will be. But I know that they went through certain things in their life. And I know that ironically, throughout the trauma that I went through in my life, I was able to love them unconditionally, to be a blessing in their lives, because they're going through things that I can relate with. So that's my biggest accomplishment, is actually being a source of strength for other people
Mm.
that need that. You know what I'm saying? And just being able to take care of my business as a man. You know what I mean? And you know, I own several trucks, and I own a logistics business. So, and I know that my mother would be proud of that. Even the music that I created, the reason why I make conscious hip hop is because when I started hip hop, like you said the music that I make was dark. Okay, that's fine. If that's where you at right now, there's a message in that, right? Okay, because it might be some type of betrayal that may be portrayed, and it may be some type of message that you're portraying based on that. However, once you get that out, right, then the next thing is you might have another project that might be enlightenment, or it might be whatever it is, right? And it might work for certain people, like Juice World. Juice WRLD was a fucking amazing artist, and he was a young artist, but he was gone too soon because of too much. Was just enough to solve your problems, but just enough. There was too much. You know what I'm saying? You know, I know what they say about that, right?
Yep. Yep.
So when I made my first track, I recorded it, and I brought it home to my mom. And I still got the CD in the same jacket that we're talking about that she had. And I was like, damn, she actually saved it. But she was like, Marcus, why are you making this type of music? And I was like, I don't know. That's just what's on my mind. And she was like, well, you got a lot of work to do, because it was dark, and it was, it was influenced by what I listened to, right? But then as I started to grow into an individual, and I started to know myself,
Mm-hmm.
then I started to know and I started to learn from my experiences, and started to write about my experiences instead of trying to write about some shit that's gonna sell, sex, money, murder, drugs, all that bullshit. I'm writing about something real that can actually like heal me. Then I stopped rapping about that fake shit, because I'm young. I'm only 15 years old when I made my first track. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Yeah.
So like, that right there is the reason why I make the music that I make, because I know at the end of the day I want to top myself as a lyricist.
Mm.
Every bar, every song, I want to top myself as a lyricist. But even after I do that, I sit back and I compare it, and I'm like, well, my mom listened to this. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if I hold myself accountable to a higher power, if I continue to hold myself accountable to a higher power and not make myself the higher power, then I will continue to be exalted, because I'm not trying to be God.
Mm.
I'm allowing God to work in me. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel you, bro. Absolutely, man. What have been your biggest obstacles that you've had to overcome?
Man, shit, man. I mean, shit, a lot of shit. Like, I mean, loss of a mother
Yeah. Yeah.
that had you when she was 18,
Yeah.
and she died at 45. And she did. I felt like she didn't deserve it. I was mad at God for a long time,
So you were
and that's why I
27
made
years old?
dark. Yes, and I made dark ass music, and I stopped making music. I stopped making music, and I fell on substance abuse.
Mm.
I dealt with spiraling out of control. I lost every fucking thing that I own. You know what I'm saying? And then I got everything that I did, everything that I lost. I was recompensated tenfold when I recognized who the enemy was. When I found out who the enemy was, and I'm like, you your own worst enemy. You got to realize what your purpose is after this, because you can't sit here and dwindle in this shit, because your mom wouldn't want you to do that. She wants you. She wants to live vicariously through you. So you got to pick that shit up and keep it moving. And that was like my biggest obstacle of overcoming the loss of my mother, and then like the loss of my mother, but then not even that, bro. Like just the absence of my father and not understanding why he was absent, and then having to be able to forgive him for his inconsistencies because he was absent, on top of my mother being obligated to be absent because God chose to take her away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that was my biggest obstacle. But my biggest obstacle was my biggest, I would say this, my biggest obstacle was my biggest upgrade when I started to realize that the lesson is a blessing. When I started to not hold that energy in, I'm like, okay, I get it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to push forward. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, like for real, bro. Like this life is amazing if you continue to focus on being grateful that you woke up this morning.
Hmm. It's
You know
all
what I'm
about
saying?
perspective.
Because there's always somebody else that can go out worse than you. Like I'll sit here and say, oh well, me and my dad don't have the best relationship, and then I talk to my cousin, and he'd be like, well, shit, I don't even know my father. I don't even know
Exactly.
him. You know what
Exactly.
I'm saying? I'm like, I'm like, good. Well, it's good for you not to know someone that, you know, doesn't want to know you, instead of you knowing somebody that doesn't want to be present, because that's almost disappointing. But let me tell you this, disappointments, it prepares you for the world, because the world doesn't care about disappointing you. So if you have these examples in your life, you have to be grateful of God presenting that to you, and stop holding that energy in, and just learn from it, and just set the precedent, be the example. Then, like, don't go around walk around like, woe is me, oh, this shit happened to me, I got this fucking chip on my shoulder and I'm mad at every fucking body. So now you become a bigger asshole than the asshole that affected you. Well, no, what you need to do is hold yourself accountable and learn from it, and then be better. Just fucking do better. And then when you do better, then other people will see that, because they're hurting just as much as you are. You know what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
I feel like that will keep you on the earth longer. I feel like it will, or you might just get promoted to like some other alternate universe out there. Like, I don't know. I don't know, man. You might fuck around and, aliens might come down and be like, they're like, you know what I'm saying? They're like, yo, you the real one, yo. We didn't even know. We didn't even know
That's
that
like
you was
max
on that
level
type of
karma,
shit.
bro.
We didn't
Like,
even know you was on that type of time, dog. But yo, for real, we been watching your ass for real, dog. Bro. We got a lot of information on you, dog. I'm gonna just tell you, keep on doing what the fuck you doing.
we
Keep on doing
seen
what the
you,
fuck you
bro.
doing.
We seen you.
You know what I'm saying? We seen you, bro. We seen you, bro. You know
That shit's funny, bro. All
what I'm saying? Yeah, real talk, real talk.
right. So tell me, what does success in life and in music look like to you?
Success in life and music. That's what you said.
Yeah.
All right. So, success in life and music. I feel like that's according to you. How do you define success?
That's
What are
what I'm
your
asking
goals?
you.
But I'm saying, no, what I'm saying is, I'm just saying, ultimately, like, that just is based on, well, you saying, you asking me, I'm saying in general. What I'm saying is like, with me, I don't have to like, how the majority of people, they be like, well, I gotta do this because the money makes me feel like this. Well, I mean, the richest person could be the loneliest person, because they don't have people around them that really know them for them. They just know them from what they appear to be. So what I'm saying is, like, with me, what success means to me is being able to be a man that can take care of his family, protect his family, educate who needs to be educated, and set the precedent that I'm enriched. I don't need to be rich. If I'm enriched, I will continue to be sustained. I don't have to have $1 million in my account, because I have that mindset. So I will always live in abundance. I'm not worried about the monetary amount or the commas, because eventually I will have all of that, as long as I continue to stay that in my mind and my mindset. You know what I'm saying? So having the right mindset, taking care of your mind, your body, and like literally like pushing yourself to grow stronger, and then not letting that strength turn you to a fucking devil, because power can like ruin you. Power can ruin you because you can think you're God, but if you continue to understand how to use your power in a positive way, then you will continue to be more empowered. You know what I'm saying? And it's like nuclear energy. We can use nuclear energy to sustain environments and continue to live great. But we also can destroy the world with it. It's all, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's big. Like that's what success is to me. Success is to me is like using your power to be able to do good in the world and to be able to like set a precedent for others that can't even do that or they need help and just making a difference. My mother always wanted me to make a difference. She was like, when she passed away, they had a memorial and it was packed in there. It was like, it was prisoners that were there. She was the operations manager and she was like basically a warden, but she literally like, you know, advocated for inmates because, you know, as an inmate, you are the property of the state.
Yeah.
But there were certain inmates that were guilty. She didn't judge them because she still understood their motive. You know what I'm saying? She's not going to judge you. She understood your motive. Yeah, you was fucking wrong. That's why your ass in jail. But I mean, at the end of the day, I understand your motive. And then there were some people that were innocent and they still had to go to that chair.
Right.
They still had to die. Right. And she had to deal with that. So when she left this earth, bro, it was inmates that were there that had freedom. You know what I'm saying? They were there and they were telling me how she made an impact on their lives. Not to mention the fact that it was people that worked with her. Everyone was there. It was as many people as they could be. They could be in that church at that time. It was amazing, and it was like that's when it hit me. It was like, damn, like instead of me soaking in this, I have this. She just basically created an example for me to follow without her even being here, bro. She left this earth and still created an example. That right there is powerful.
Hmm.
And that's why, like, it's important for you to make an impact. Fuck the money. The money is gonna come. The money gonna come. The money is the root of all evil if you focus on it. But that shit gonna follow you if you do it for the love. I make music for the love. I'm not worried about like being signed to a major fucking label. I mean, you got Universal Music Group, you got Warner Brothers, and then what else you got? You got Warner Brothers, you
Sony.
got Sony.
Yeah.
Sony. And they basically control the entertainment business. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know why? Because at the end of the day, if I continue to stay true to myself, they gonna be hitting me up eventually. And if they don't, I'm fine. I will continue to be independent and I will continue to make music and I will continue to do this shit until I'm gray gray hair and in the
Yep.
face and all types of shit, salt and pepper shit going on. And I might fuck around and pick up a guitar and fuck around, turn to BB King and rap while I'm playing. I don't give a fuck, bro. Like I'm just saying, music is.
You need to do
I'm
that,
going to
bro. You need
continue
to
to
do
do this.
that like tomorrow, bro.
Yeah, I'm serious. I just got two. I got two guitars at the crib. Like I got a tune right now.
Hell
Seriously.
yeah.
Like
Hell
it
yeah,
don't
man.
stop. It doesn't stop, brother. I'm an artist.
If you could go back and tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
Don't ever don't ever doubt yourself.
Hmm.
Even when you doubt it, don't doubt yourself. Don't deny yourself. Whatever mistake that you made, you know, learn from it. Hold yourself accountable. Kill your ego. I would say kill your ego. Kill your ego immediately. Kill your ego. Eat a whole fucking bag of mushrooms and kill your fucking ego. Yeah, kill your ego. That's what I would tell. That's what I would tell myself. Go get some South Americans and kill yourself. Kill your ego. Like kill your fucking ego. Look up.
Solid, solid, bro.
Kill your ego, bro. Kill it. Kill it. Yeah. That's what I would tell myself, bro.
Facts,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Facts. Before we end this, is there any kind of sentiment or life lesson that you'd like to share with anybody watching?
I'll say this to y'all, man. Like, listen, man. Like, you know, whatever you're going through, whatever you've experienced, understand that that's a part of your life for you to understand. Uh, where that's unique for you and your experience, and understand just to hold yourself accountable and just continue to just push through. Like, it doesn't matter how hard it is, like how hard it gets. Like, he puts us through tests for us to strengthen. And I say that to say this. steel is part of like all of the industry infrastructure. So basically, it's used because it's forged, and it's forged because it's put through this excessive amount of heat, and it's broken down, and it's broken down and built back up, and broken down and built back up, and broken down and built back up, and that's what makes steel so strong. And that's the same thing that the universe does sometimes for you to be able to acknowledge it. So that's all I gotta say. Just continue to be forwards and continue to accept to be forwards, and then just thank the universe for everything, as long as you're alive to do it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. And I don't normally do this, but I'm going to share one because I think that you'll be able to relate to it. Something that I'm
Mhm.
always trying to tell, especially younger friends who are in relationships and they've been dating for 3 months and they say, well, we have these problems, but it's worth it. I love them or what. Uh,
Right.
if you're in a relationship and they're not making your life better at least 75% of the time, it ain't worth it. It
No,
ain't
it's not
fucking
worth
worth
it.
it.
Because it's like codependency is a real thing. Like, and I had to realize that, like, you can become a serial monogamist because you're programmed to think that you gotta, you know, oh, I need this person to complete me.
Yep.
Oh, well, the whole time that you like, let me tell you something. I tell my nephew's 16, and he's very mature for his age. However, I know he's a teenager. I'm like, listen, man, don't ever empower a stranger, especially a female stranger, to make her feel like she made your day just because she gave you her number. She didn't know who the fuck you are when you pull up. Like, and if you don't know who you are, then you don't need to be talking to her. But also treat her with respect. But understand that you need to know yourself, and you need not to validate yourself with other people's opinions of how they view you. Don't ever validate yourself based on that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you do that, then you start to hold yourself accountable. You don't need somebody to sweep your porch off, sweep your own porch off. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man.
And
Go ahead.
oh no, I'm just saying, like, I mean, if that happens, then I mean, if you do that, then the law of attraction and abundance is going to pour in, because you're just going to accept it for what it is. It is what it is, inevitably. You know what I'm saying? We don't have control of that. So that's all I was saying. Like, at the end of the day, it's like sometimes we put so much power on somebody being with us, when sometimes we need to practice solitude and cherish it. You know what I'm saying? So we can be better versions of ourselves to be able to affect that person in a positive manner. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. No, absolutely, bro. That's facts.
Right. Yeah.
Well, yo, I do. I appreciate your time a lot. Thank you. You have some great input, some insight that I'm excited for people to see for real. This has been
Hey,
Character Acid with Marc Mills. Follow him up, hit him up. I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.
all right, buddy. Let's go.